What's up, guys, and welcome to the Quick Diz Takes episode number 79. I am your host, Tim LeBeau, alongside Mrs. Sarah Castano
Hey, howdy, hey.
and Mr. John Castano.
Hi.
If you're new to the show, please join us, subscribe, like us, share with your friends. Even if you're not new to the show, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. We may or may not be joined by Mr. Stephen Lanzi as well. He may be running late. He may not be. I don't know. I don't have a status, but he may be joining us in real time here on our live show shortly, hopefully. Anyway, I was struggling with the topic idea this week, and we talked about on Thursday that we wanted to include the news in the podcast, so we'd have more topics on top of our own topics. And this is exactly the reason why. I think it makes for a fuller show, and I think it'll be good going forward. But for the time being, for our immediate intents and purposes, I stumbled across some numbers the other day that I feel like we kind of knew and maybe even mentioned that Universal was kind of getting on the scene a little bit more than people maybe thought. But then I see numbers, actual numbers, and I said, I didn't think it was possible, but now I'm starting to think it's possible that Universal may actually overtake Disney at some point in the next decade or two as the number one theme park destination. And I'm not saying they will, because I know, anyone listening to this is probably already rolling their eyes, but the numbers are kind of staggering when you go back over the last decade. I had sent Johnny and Sarah a text prior to this. I don't think I can screen share live, so if you're watching at home, I will put it on my window. But as you can see, Universal is catching up. Average attendance in 2009, 10.1 million. Not awful, but 10.1 million's 10.1 million. 2019, fast forward 2 Harry Potter lands later, and we are now at 21.3 million. Now, the 10.1 million in 2009 was compared to Disney's 47.5 million, which would make a lot of people say, well, that's not even close. And I guess back then it wasn't. However, 21.3 million as compared to 48.4 million, which is not even a 1 million increase, first of all, for Disney, a 52.6% increase for Universal, still roughly about a 27.1 million difference in yearly attendance. However, I think the most important number here is the per park attendance yearly, and Disney averaging 12.1 million visitors per park in 2019. Up from 11.9 10 years ago, which is only 0.2 difference. Universal, 5 million in 2009, now up to 10.6 million, which is about 1.5 million difference now between you. We're only 1.5 million difference per park between Universal Studios and Disney World now. That to me is worth talking about. And bear in mind, Epic Universe is being built as we speak, maybe done before Tron, the way that things are going right now. But yeah, does anybody here, first of all, does anyone think it's possible? I think it's possible that Universal becomes the number one theme park destination in Central Florida in the next 20 years.
If you go just by the per park, it's close. And they very well could. Chapek's hiking prices. People are unhappy. You can't get annual passes unless you're renewing at the moment. That's still kind of on a hiatus. Universal's still selling them. Their prices are lower. I mean, they're still expensive, but their prices are lower. Their passes are.
So I priced out before the show started. I priced out a Disney trip, 5-day trip with a savings promotion going on right now at about $2,992.50 before taxes. That's 5 days. My family of three, my family did it on Universal. We're about $1,000 less right now. Without a special offer, just a package. No, not really offering anything at the moment. At least I didn't go into any of the offerings. I wasn't going to go, to their higher end stuff. But Sarah does bring up a good point before we go any further, that Disney has been hiking up the prices. So the argument can be made that Disney has been purposely trying to control the amount of visitors they're getting, which is why they're not seeing the increase that Universal is. But with Epic Universe opening, we'll look at Nintendo Land, another Harry Potter offering, and the Universal Monsters, which is like old, but everyone knows them, kind of a
Throwback kind of thing.
Transgenerational intellectual property. I think it's very, very well within Universal's chances to become number one in Florida, because I think you're seeing more people, including, I haven't done it yet, but I've looked a few times now, as I never did before, at going there. I know you guys don't go there often, but
we usually do a day if we're traveling with like either my parents or his parents, if someone's willing to hang with the kids for like a pool day. Then, I mean, they were really little and they're really not into the stuff that Universal has, and they're just now starting to be old enough and big enough for some of those bigger rides. But
there's another thing.
The two of us, yeah.
So Johnny, does John and James, a year or two from now, when you have Mario available, Harry Potter,
yeah, I mean, we were waiting.
Where were they about to go?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really shown them like videos of the stuff, because they were always, like Sarah said, too small. But I mean, if we show them, people on YouTube going in those rides, I'm sure now that they're older and tall enough to ride, they'll want to go. And then I know we've watched videos of the Nintendo Land or whatever in Japan, and they're like super into that. So that'll be something for sure they're going to want to go to. But yeah, it was just the perspective. Universal's kind of always been when you're older park, just because you're only, at least for us, we're only going for that day. So it's, it's always that more expensive just to go for a day instead of the package. But now that they're older, and now that Epic Universe is coming, and now you got like you're gonna have 3 full parks, that is an option, a big option to get them, a multi-day package over there. So that in that turn, that would maybe only stay at Disney 3 days, go over there 3 days. It's a much more viable option now. And then the fact that I can get a hotel room for under $100 a night there easily, pretty much at any time of the year. Yet it's not like the same as Disney where it's not on property, but it's the same difference as they offer bus services to the park. So it's the same thing, except you're basically in the middle of like Orlando. So there's other stuff around you, but it's still one and the same. You're paying so much less. You're pretty much getting the same perks, I guess, if you want to call them perks, that Disney is giving you for staying on property, but they're better.
Yeah, you're getting better perks.
Actual perks, like Disney.
You can actually, I don't know if they're still doing it at Universal. I have to look into it, but I know when Scott went, he had said that they were getting the extra hour early. If you go premium, which some people, this is just more specifically for the people that go deluxe. But if you go deluxe Universal, boom, you get the max pass every day.
Yeah, they give you, yeah. I mean, and
which
that's
is crazy.
worth
Now
it.
and no one uses it. If you've ever been to Universal, look around. No one's using
No
that
one-
thing. So when you have it, you're literally just walking onto rides whenever you feel like.
Yeah, they got that hidden, a little hidden, because like if you look at the price of their that's not fast pass or that front, whatever
I
it's
can't
called.
think of what it's called.
It's
I'll get it right
super
now.
expensive for a day pass, but roll, like you said, roll that into one of their higher end hotels that are closer to property where they're probably, where you can walk to,
That's the other thing, right? You're right at the gate.
and you can walk,
Yep.
and then you're gonna get the front of the line. I mean, it's
So you stay there, you get the front of the line, you're right at the gate. Downtown, there's Disney Springs, what they call City Walk is right there with everything you could, I mean, it's a pretty nice.
We go to
Express-
City
every
Walk
time.
even if we don't go to our Universal.
Express Pass.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
Express Pass, yeah.
Yeah.
And now a third park, which is only, and even the third park's only 2 miles away from where everything else is.
Mhm.
So, I mean, even on Disney property, if you're staying like at the All Stars, you're well more than 2 miles away from the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Um,
And they're, I mean, like their annual pass perks are better than Disney's annual pass perks. I mean, you get more.
Period.
I
you know what I love to do? It's easier said than done, but I love, like, the four of us were in Disney that one time. I love to do that, like for like 2 days, two couples, just adults, and go to Universal for the same time, like 2 days, and just come back and see like what it was like
pass
versus what a Disney trip would be like. Because while I still love Disney and all that stuff, it's starting to pique my curiosity. It's starting to get my attention. And with the third park, the third park sounds like it's going to be pretty amazing.
Yep.
Mhm.
And so
And the
like
fact
that.
that you're okay.
No, go ahead, Sarah.
I said the fact that you're even considering, you said it yourself, you've never even contemplated before, and you're looking into it, and you've looked into it a couple of times now.
Yep.
I
I mean,
mean,
they're missing a few things, but the things that they're missing, like for me, may be coming now in this park.
right.
Like the dark ride, Universal Monsters rides. Like, I think every good theme park should have a good haunted attraction. Now they might have that. It sounds like they're going to have that. How to Train Your Dragon is probably going to be a pretty good adult / kids, I say kids / adult, kind of like everyone, both people can enjoy. You already got the 2 Harry Potter lands and the other 2 parks, and you're getting a third now, which I mean, and Universal is also doing something I like for the most part, not all the time, because Fast and the Furious was a flop, but for the most part, they are trying to make the move on the new things. Like they're making the aggressive moves where Disney it feels like is more in a reactionary phase right now. Like, oh, Universal's doing this, so we got to do this. Let's see how Epic Universe goes before we decide what we're gonna do. They're still not really moving on anything too extreme. Can't count Pandora, can't count Star Wars. To me, that's still a reaction to Harry Potter. Now we're kind of back to even Steven again. Like, what's the next move going to be? Because you got to keep in mind, before New Fantasyland, Disney didn't make a move basically in Orlando for like almost 14 years.
Yeah. They
And
opened
then-
that 4th gate, and then after Animal Kingdom opened, it was just kind of a lull.
Yeah, I mean, I think Expedition Everest opened in like 06 in Animal Kingdom. And then that was nothing until New Fantasyland, if I am not mistaken. And now we're doing a lot of reskins. I mean, we are getting Tron, and they are adding a few things.
Mhm.
I'm not going to count Cosmic Rewind as an ad because they're making a much better attraction, an attraction that needed to be upgraded. But you could have kept the Ellen idea, reskin that on the same thing and made it better, and somewhere added that, that roller coaster would have been more of an addition rather than just a replacement. So back to the Universal though, but yeah, it just seems like Universal's making the moves. And if you're into water parks, which I'm not really into them when I go on those trips myself, I don't know. The thing is with them, it's like everything's right there. I like that. So like, I don't know the exact, I don't know the exact map in my mind, but I know that Volcano Bay, Islands of Adventure, and Universal Studios Florida all right. Like if you're staying at the right resort, you are right there.
Yeah.
And then like Johnny said, with the older group, obviously Disney's always going to have that appeal to kids. But the problem with that is you want to bring your kids, but now they're so priced out. I don't know how much more people can go.
And the difference between a child ticket and an adult ticket is $20. And the fact that your
Yeah,
child
that's
is now an
ridiculous.
adult at what, age 10 or is it 12? I think it's 10, right? This was last year.
10.
John
Yeah,
has
10
a
sounds
child.
about right.
It's 10.
Yeah,
So so like with Ari, I got one more year.
yeah.
Not
same.
even. Not
John,
even.
John.
I
So
don't
this
even know.
summer,
You're saying $20. I don't even think it's that much. I think it's less.
I think it was,
I think it's
Sorry.
I literally think it's $5. Hold on.
so like what's an annual pass price at Universal right now? Anybody know off the top of their head?
Yeah, I just looked it up. If you want the top of the line,
that's the one that we
the
have.
top of
'cause
if you
we're out of
want, okay,
state.
I get the two. If you want the top, the no blockout dates things for just the 2 theme parks, $625. And if you want to add the water park, it's $815. And
I mean, that's pretty good.
I mean, I was looking up some I mean, you get like you get their Mardi Gras and their holiday things. You don't have to pay extra for those. I mean, obviously Halloween Horror Nights and stuff like that. You pay the extra, but you do get some like
Like
party
the
type
Halloween,
things.
like the Halloween Horror Nights. I haven't been to them. I haven't done either Halloween thing. However, I'm plugged in enough to know like kind of what goes on in each one via YouTube and reading things constantly. And Hollywood Horror Nights, I mean, for adults especially, is way more in depth. They open like 6-7 houses every year, and I heard they're like top notch.
Oh, it's like 10 houses. I think it's
Okay,
up to
well
10
there
a
you
year.
go.
Yeah.
And I've
Plus,
watched
like-
them on videos. They're good.
Plus the
Pretty
3 or 4 like,
quality.
scare zones that you have to walk.
Mhm.
Like it's
like the second you walk through the gate, it just doesn't
Yeah,
stop.
yeah.
And where Mickey's is more, you get some cutesy shows, a
Not so-
parade,
yeah,
you can
not
grab
so
some
scary.
candy, you get some better. Yeah, exactly. It was literally not so scary, not up until last year. And then better wait times on rides, which is probably someone like me would cash more in on the on the less wait times than anything else. But you're still paying for a hard ticket. And once again, I'm still on the side of Disney here, but I just when we having this conversation now, you start thinking about it, it's like, wow, like what's going on here?
Yes.
Huge drop off.
I was gonna say, if I just chose a base Disney ticket to go, what day was this? Tuesday. It's $119 for 10 plus. It's $114 for 3 to 9. So you save $5 for a children ticket. So
It's sad. It's kind of sad.
This is saying a one day ticket is 109.
yeah,
ticket.
but
I don't know.
then it was I
Oh,
just
it's
picked
a
a
tip.
day because you know how it's day based.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna take.
I don't
I mean,
know.
They even have. I was looking at this. They even have something so simple that Disney could easily do. You pay for those cups at the resorts. You can only fill them up at resorts.
I hate it.
Universal gives you the benefit of you buy a cup, you can fill it up with the Coke Freestyle machines in the parks.
Mhm.
I mean, just a simple extra little benefit of that is nice. Where you buy one thing and then you get to fill it up all day. Disney, you still got, you pay in the parks. Just the extra little. Oh, here you go.
The thing that bugs me
Studios
about-
is the same
Or
thing.
even $1 refills. Think about the popcorn buckets. People go out of their way and buy crazy expensive popcorn buckets for the $2 refills for snacks the whole time. $2 is nothing in Disney World. Do the dollar refills in the parks for soda or whatever then. If you're
Universal
still
already
determined
has
to make money on it.
$109 per day, and then a child is $104 per day. So you're paying less money.
For
That's what you just said, 109, 104.
Yeah, that is Universal. So
Oh, so
$10.
$10 less.
The tickets are
119,
$10 cheaper.
114. Okay. But I'm saying if Disney is still bent on making money on drinks in the parks instead of the free refills, if there are dollar refills, how many more people are going to be buying those cups
Yeah.
at the
It's just-
resorts, knowing that they only have to pay $1 for a drink? And wouldn't you buy more drinks for $1 instead? I don't know.
I think the big thing. Well, I know let's speak on that first. Yeah, I mean that's just a matter of how you want to nickel and dime and how you don't want to nickel and dime. Disney's.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing they're not going to nickel and dime with you on anymore. They've gotten to the point now where it's just they're going to get anything they can. and Universal. I can't help but feel like if they like Epic Universe could be a big punt. Like if they it's always kind of like this joke that you read. Like Universal kind of has like their A team and their B team when it comes to like designing attractions and what kind of money they put into them, how well the attraction is done. If they put their A team into the entirety of Epic Universe, and they just spare no expense and they make the best ride they can for every single attraction, especially in Nintendo World. They're going to do it in Harry Potter. They don't mess around with that. Universal Monsters is a big. That's a big, and I think they're going to do this, by the way. But the reason why I say it is because I was just looking at permits earlier, and they had a theater show planned for the Monsters Land. So they had like a massive dark ride and a theater show. And now word on the street is they scrapped the theater show and they're going to make a roller coaster style ride to go with the other. So they're going to have like two e-ticket rides, if you will, in that area of the park, which just shows me that they can smell it. Like they can smell the opportunity here. Disney, we know, like when they want, and they really, really put their mind to it, they can make awesome attractions. But Slinky Dog, a Toy Story, it's a cute, fine, it's whatever.
We need something more.
Also, how many of those Imagineers, that when they decided to move Imagineering to Florida, how many of the ones that didn't want to go to the move went to Universal and stayed in California and decided to work for them? I mean, so now the competition's,
they're getting your mind.
They'll allow those people to stay in California and design rides for them for Universal instead of making them move to Florida and uproot their families. So I don't know.
Is when you let the shareholders dictate moves that are made, even if it's inadvertent. When you do that, you don't win.
It's not sustainable.
Not sustainable. That's the way to look at it. Over time, you're going to lose. It might be a long race, but you're not going to win it.
No.
And the moves that have been made, I don't know. Like, and then you're staring right in the face of a possible, maybe the biggest failure. We don't know yet, but
yeah,
maybe the biggest failure in Disney Parks history with the Star Wars hotel. I mean, we'll see how it goes. It's not looking good.
No, unless they're hiding stuff. I don't know.
They might be. I don't think they are.
How amazing would it be if they just boom, here's a fifth gate and it's done and we didn't announce any of it?
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
The likelihood.
Bio Reconstruct would have caught that on
I think our eye in the sky would have caught onto that by now.
But that's what Disney needs. They need it. See, Eisner, he was a money guy, but he was also a creative guy and gave stuff. He created things. He created Hollywood Studios. He created Animal Kingdom, in his 20 years there. Now we're 22.
So what do you theme this fifth gate to, though?
Villains.
Everybody wants villains. Yeah.
Everyone wants it. If you put a survey out, that's the answer you would get.
They could literally just do a
Let me post one right now.
They could do
it.
They could just use the exact plans of the Magic Kingdom and just make it a complete opposite and just go villain everything. They could already have the layout and people would be happy with that.
Oh yeah.
Instead of
copy,
it's the
copy,
dark
vilify,
kingdom.
And paste.
The Dark Kingdom, whatever it is, but you could keep the lands, you could keep everything and just make everything villain and people would be happy with that.
Then you can't do your villain night. You can't do your villains at the Halloween time.
You just do everything there. Then you leave Magic Kingdom.
But then you lose your after hour stuff, which those special ticketed events.
No, you don't. You just have them. They'll still just have them at night.
They can't be in two parks at once, can they?
I mean, they can't be in two parks. Mickey's in every single park. You can't be in two different parts in the same park at the same time.
Oh, two different lands. That's what I was thinking of. Just kidding.
Yeah. Like when the parade's coming, all the Mickeys, Mickey disappears from the meet and greets. Unless he's like inside the building. I don't know if he disappears inside that building on Main Street, like when the
Tony's
parade goes by. Town Square Theater, whatever is the magic shop, magic place. So I don't know. I don't know. Even just looking at a map, I was looking at a map of Universal. It's I mean, it's all right there. It's the same, basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Your buses all the way from the hotels. It's the same difference as Disney, except you're not in a on their land only. You have other businesses around you, which is good for the other business because you visit them. You have more of a look at the outside world, I guess. I don't know.
So I'm going to post, if Disney opened the fifth gate, what would you like to see it themed as? Villains or another Disney IP? I'm going to leave that open. Let's see what we get.
I think
Anyway.
they still need to do some flushing out with Animal Kingdom, to be honest.
Oh, absolutely. They need to fix
We've talked
Dinosaur
about-
Side. Yeah.
Yeah, we fixed Dino. We've vented about Dinoland a lot.
And that's not just that though. That and some see the thing when you do that is like dinosaurs are still a ride people go on.
Right.
That's there. You need
But they need to
something
fix
more.
The rest of that area.
And then you need to like throw something else in there too. I don't know what. Not in there, not in Dino. I'm saying just in the park, like
Yeah,
another
in the
part of the
park.
park somewhere. I don't know what the answer is. Pandora. I mean, when they built Hogsmeade, they built Diagon Alley like less than 4 years, like 4 years later, that was done. Like it's time to already start thinking about expanding Pandora.
Right. And while Pandora fits, I still feel like it's a weird choice. That's not.
Yeah, it's always going to be a weird choice now, but whatever. It's got a good ride attached to it. Let's get another good ride attached to it. They dropped the ball big time on the Navi River Journey.
Yeah.
They should have just added some speed elements in that ride a little bit. A waterfall or two, maybe a part where the boat moves a little faster. Something. I don't know what I guess maybe Flight of Passes was so expensive that the budget constraints. I don't know. But once again, with your damn budget constraints, you got an aggressive land. You got to make it work like to its best, fullest potential. Navi River is like a joke. Like as a repeat
the
guest,
animatronic is broken again, from what people are saying.
and it's just one. And as a repeat guest, like you don't even like you peer over there, you see 10 minutes, all right, maybe you jump in the line because whatever, we'll say we did it again. But you're not going to jump in it at 30. All right, first time guest, I get it.
Or if you know rain is coming and the line is short enough that you're going to be undercover before the rain comes down, because it's got a considerable covered queue. Between the covered queue and the ride, we may have just bypassed the storm.
Yeah, it falls into like the Landsy Tiki Hut kind of thing. You know, if I can seek shelter from the storm, then I will go on. But yeah, so Pandora is like, I guess you call it a hit, right? But it's not really it's not a Harry Potter level hit.
No.
Although some will argue that it's a bigger hit than Galaxy's Edge. Galaxy's Edge, I don't know. It's tough to tell with Galaxy's Edge. I'm not going to go back on that. I've been on it before, but it is tough to tell because it kind of came out and then the pandemic hit. But I don't know. It's Star Wars, so I would say it's still a success. I don't think it's as successful as they thought it would be, though. So then it begs the question, you know, what do you have to put out there? To me, what you have to put out there to equal Harry Potter is a really good, state-of-the-art, awesome Marvel land.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on over there, Johnny? Kids going crazy?
No, she magically disappeared from her box and appeared next to me in the room here. She was getting stuff.
I was looking at something online and I realized that I had the real deal in the other room.
Yeah, Disney needs to just suck it up and pay Universal what Universal wants to get the rights to put Marvel in Florida. Whatever it may be, I think the outcome of that they'll get their money back plus a ton more if they're allowed to put the Avengers in Florida.
You need to have an Avengers ride. That's what everybody wants.
Yeah. You can only do, I mean, yes, you're getting the Guardian stuff. You can put like, I don't even know who else from Marvel is in Florida.
And Avengers needs to be like Force Away, like like Rise of the Resistance, where it needs to be like 3 different stages. All
Yeah.
like it's got to be
Oh, yeah,
immersive
yeah.
all the way through. It's got to be like real sets mixed with screen technology. Like it's got to be like you're in the middle of something. It's got to have that, like it's got to pack that punch. It can't be this.
See, I don't know if
Wishy-washy thing.
I don't know if it's
Can't be
already,
web slingers.
if it's already past them to use the original Avengers now because they're not in the movies anymore. So I don't know if they're trying with these new phases of the movies, if they're trying to get these characters, which they can use, to be more popular, and then they'll go with that, and then maybe include the older characters. But if they're trying to get the Guardians, or I mean, they can't use Spider-Man. But well,
The thing
I don't even
when
know. I don't even know which. I don't know. I'm not positive which ones they can and can't use in Florida.
No, they can't use Spider-Man. I know that. I know they can use Guardians.
And they can't. They can't use the Iron Mans, the Captain Americas. But can they use? They can use Black Panther, I believe. They can use.
I forget what the
They
stipulation
can't
was.
use
now.
Thor.
Hold on. Let's get some information because I'm
They
gonna give you some
can't
information.
use the. I don't think they can use certain X-Men. I can't use because I'm just trying to think what characters are over in Universal. I know it's like Wolverine and Spider-Man and Captain America, Thor. Not sure
Well,
if
you
they
guys
can-
are hashing that out. I was just looking, I pulled over the Animal Kingdom map, and they have room to expand. They do. So you could put something between Pandora and Africa. There's space there. There's stuff between, I think it's like the walking trail. I don't know if it was the gorilla, the tiger trail. There's something over in Asia, and then there's space between that like walking trail and then where Expedition Everest is. There's space there. Everything else is kind of like it's accounted for. It's spaced out so you can't really see between the lands. But then even just looking at where it is in relation to everything else on the map, it's like, okay, maybe it's really super close to Animal Kingdom. There's room. There is room for them to expand out more. And I'm obviously
you're also not seeing what's back there too.
Yeah.
That's the only problem with that map.
oh, you can't see because of the
can't
green
see.
screen thing. So
Is that the real map?
this is the My Disney experience, which you can kind of see,
I
but
was going to try to use
not.
Google Maps.
Well, I know Pandora has an expansion.
that doesn't
pack.
show you everything.
I already know that
But
because they're obviously going to expand. I mean, you're not going to just call it a day with 2 attractions. So at some point, Pandora will get something. I'm assuming after the second movie's released, and they're hoping that's a hit.
there you go.
That's
Taking
another
back-
thing. What if the second Pandora comes out and it's a flop? I mean, the second Avatar.
So from when the movie came out to when the land was finished was a considerable amount of time. And I didn't see the movie at all. I purposely saw the movie like 2 weeks before we went because I wanted to know what the land was about.
No, I mean, the movie's
Yeah.
good. It's not a bad
Yeah, it was
movie.
good. No, not at
It's
all.
not like it's not like
But enough to
like
base
a
a
Harry
whole land off
Potter.
of-
Yeah. Or a Star
That's-
Wars where you get people are gonna get really that
a
into it.
saga, right? It's a multi-story, for lack of a better word. But like, you're basing a whole land off one film.
Now they are planning on like 3 different sequels coming out in the 2020s, but
Okay, so
I mean,
when did
they were
when did
supposed to come out
Pandora
already,
open?
but they're making it all. at
well,
once.
the first one is coming out this year, right? I believe. Or
Well,
no?
when did that
I
whole
think
land
that-
open in Animal Kingdom? I don't think it
2017.
17. So it's been 5 years since the land came out. And they're just now, I know COVID put a crush on a lot of things, but like,
As according to IMDb, they have 5. 2 is coming out this year. 3
Yep.
is 24. 4 is 26, and 5 is 28.
Well, they are putting some eggs in a basket there.
But I
Boy.
think they have.
They are
I think they're
praying.
just making all of them at once as well too.
yeah, they're probably just filming them all in a slow release.
Pretty sure. Yeah.
And the other thing that's going to work in Universal's favor is that the kids that grew up in the like they're born 2000, 2001 in that window, even 2000, say 2000, 2005 is better. Actually, 2005, 2010 would be a better way to put it. That grew up with Minions. When they hit their 20s, have their own money. They're gonna a lot of those properties they're gonna want to see. Like they'll still haven't like what's the word I'm looking for? Those still haven't like completely like materialized into what they can possibly be because of nostalgia, like the nostalgia that generation is going to have for it. You know?
And even some of the older things like Popeyes, like randomly coming back in certain things, like kids in my school are wearing Tom and Jerry sweatshirts, like Nickelodeon
Yeah.
shirts with Hey Arnold and Rugrats and Cat Dog on it. Like it's weird what things are popping up
Mm.
like from our childhood that are cool.
I feel like if Universal
Vintage
wanted to make a move, they would retheme that area though. Overall,
Yeah.
Like they could just reskin Dudley Do Right into something that like people care about, and like you would just have a new ride. I mean, I heard the track system and everything, and that's fun. Popeye, I mean, I know Sarah just said, but I don't think it's going to have enough momentum.
No, I don't think it's.
I mean,
enough to
maybe.
draw
I don't
people's-
know.
Geez, you already got a bunch of votes on your poll.
Do I?
You throw it on Facebook or Twitter.
I threw it on. I threw it on Facebook on the annual. I didn't put it under our name. I should have, but
Good job.
I just threw it up there.
Well, one thing's blowing everything else away.
Yep, 33 votes for villains right now. 3 votes for everything else. People are adding things. People added Marvel.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm surprised you didn't throw Marvel up there because that's their newest.
I just put another Disney IP just to keep it broad. There's 3 votes for Bob Chapek theme park, themed area in the park, which is obviously silly.
I was like, is that just an ATM and a wishing well?
But it's funny because like
Or something suctions the coins out of the
they opened an
fountain.
Avengers campus out west, and it's terrible. I mean, from what I haven't been there, but every person that's been there, vlogged about it, written about it, said it's absolute poop. And from what I can see, like Web Slingers just looks so bad to me. It
Man.
looks so bad.
That that ride through that we watched together when it first opened.
Yeah, it just looks so
Cringy.
bad.
Yeah. Well,
Cringy.
It's not even like
they
it's
do
not
have
even
another one.
mixed.
They do have another ride coming. I mean, I know they just threw that out. I think they just threw that out there to have a quick ride. But it,
Let's hope
yeah,
so.
I know they have another one coming, but it's also like they were confined. They're really only confined to that space that A Bug's Land was in, which was not very big too, which didn't help them.
Well,
But they didn't have an option. They had, if they wanted to land, they had to put it out there. So, but I know I haven't ridden their Tower of Terror, the Guardians of the Galaxy one out there, but I know everybody likes that ride.
yeah, I'm sure that's fun. But I mean, that's it. That is what it is.
But it's
But I
already
can-
been there.
I mean, can you imagine? I just think if you put like a Galaxy's Edge size land somewhere in Orlando,
Yeah.
and you put a good ride and like a non-screen ride, it's funny because like Pandora's doing so well because of Flight of Passage, but how? And I know I'm like an unpopular opinion on Flight of Passage. I like the ride, but I don't think it has much. I don't think it has like longevity. I don't think it's going to have longevity. The awe factor of that ride is going to be gone in another 5 years.
Yeah. But I mean, they'd have to change it, which they have with the screen base. They have the opportunity to change it as more as more improvements in that technology come out. They at least have that, but still, it's a screen-based ride.
Yeah. So how
in
many
the
times
grand
you going to
scheme
want
of
to like?
things.
How often you going to want to fly in a Banshee after a while?
Yeah. But it's I mean, they can, which is simple they can randomize it where you could maybe this time you're riding a Banshee, maybe next time you're riding on some sort of vehicle. I mean, I think they could have it more of a randomized, like a Star Tours where you have a different scene most of the time. I mean, sometimes you get the same stuff, but at least there's the opportunity for randomization.
Yeah. I guess they must have thought about it before they built it. At least I hope they did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's always thought of like maybe they're specifically putting something into one of the next couple of movies that is gonna make them like that's gonna work well for a ride. You know, I don't know. I don't know, but it's all shaping up for Universal to have an opportunity here. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, they've always been the thrill adventure park, like the Six Flags on steroids. And Disney's always been the family park.
True.
But
But Universal's changing a little bit
mhm.
and they're mixing it up. You know?
Well, I mean, they
They're
put it
also
in their,
more-
they put it in their commercials where they were kind of throwing it at like Disney's the kid park, where the park for young adult, once you're sick of the
The kid stuff.
cartoons and princesses, you come over here.
But I think that's even going to change.
Hey, I'm still bitter they got rid of Back to the Future. So
It's
Get
still
'em.
mad.
at least the train and the DeLorean is still there.
They should have kept Back to the Future. They should have just
Yeah, you
redid
have
it.
totally-
They should have just reskinned it. They should have just refurbed it. Or whatever. I mean, they wanted to build a little Springfield, which is a cool part of the park. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but unfortunately Disney owns it now. But
Although, fun fact, our niece was playing, our niece in New Hampshire was down here in Rhode Island playing this weekend. She's at a school known for their ice hockey, kind of a program athletic thing. And her jersey number is 88. And of course, James is like, 88 miles an hour. I mean, as long as we keep passing on
Yeah.
those movies. For
Also, I
those of
feel
you who don't
I feel
know.
like Back to the Future missed an opportunity. I'm only saying they missed an opportunity because it's going to get rebooted at some point. It's not going to not. And if they were,
yeah, you're gonna have to wait for Bob Gale to die. But
Yeah.
eventually, when he dies, I'm sure it'll get.
but if they
Wait.
were going to reboot it, they should have did it in 15 and went like 30 years back
Yeah.
and forward, and then waited again. And at least
Yeah.
you could have had an interesting parallel. Like it'd been cool to see. Maybe you get Michael J. Fox come back, see his kid go back in time, have him play himself now, and then you CGI him as a young Marty when the kid goes back in '85. Yeah, it could have been
Yeah.
some interesting ideas there. I mean, there's no way around it. Or
Yeah.
you could have just had the same storyline as Marty again, just taking place in 2015 back to '85.
His-
And
Then
that would-
instead of his kid being in trouble, it's his grandkid in trouble. I don't know.
Well, I've always said that the dumbest thing, I love all the Back to the Future movies anyway, but if I was going to point out a dumb thing is why would you go to the future to fix something? You know it's coming ahead of time, just wait and fix
Fix
it.
it in the past,
Yeah.
yeah.
Why do you got to go ahead to fix it? What's the rush? Doc's going to rush when he gets there. We got to go, your kids, smart age, your kids. Like, dude,
Hey, he was just scared.
if I sit here and do nothing right now for the next 10 years, I still got time to fix that. Like, what's
Yes,
the
but
rush,
Doc
bro?
said you can't know too much about your future, so it had to be just that one moment he could.
Oh, he threw that out the window too.
Ah,
The more movies that came out, the more everything just got thrown out the window.
it's all loosey goosey now.
Still good though.
Eastwood Ravine wasn't Clayton Ravine. They messed up.
Still a top 5.
Clara Clayton.
Still in my top movies of all time, but
Mm.
or even franchises of all time. But yeah, well, that's what makes it fun. Is that it gets wacky, and then you can just kind of pick it apart and still love it. Anyway, they missed their opportunity there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I mean, Tom Holland would make a pretty good Marty, but
Anyway, I guess we'll kind of he would, yeah, for sure. I think.
he's got that same he could be 30 years old playing a 16-year-old. He's got that same Michael J. Fox he
You'd have
looks
to find a good doc,
much
though.
younger. Yeah. Well, didn't they do? They did one of those deep fakes, didn't they? I think they did it with him and Robert Downey Jr. and it kind of did look pretty good.
I mean, there's plenty of guys that could probably pull it off. Maybe Bryan Cranston might be able to pull it off. He's kind of got that
Oh yeah.
older,
Thanks.
cool uncle kind of vibe going to him. I don't
Uncle
know.
Fester.
Yeah, no, well, Christopher Lloyd was Uncle Fester, but talking about Bryan Cranston.
No,
I don't
I'm
know.
well aware, but I'm never mind. You missed it completely.
Anyway,
Christopher Lloyd was Doc and Uncle Fester.
no, that's what I
Yeah.
said. Yeah,
Brian Cranston, you're saying could be Doc,
I
but I
get
feel
what you-
also Uncle
I get
Fester.
what you- I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
well, they don't even make live action Adams Family movies anymore. They just go right to the
Stop.
computer CGI stuff now. Anyway, to close this out, Nintendo, so Nintendo World, I think is the big player in this game right now. How big is Nintendo World going to be when it opens? I don't know what's going on in Japan right now with it. I haven't really.
Well, we're going to get a preview in California because I believe theirs is almost done down
Mhm.
in their lower lot there. I know it's smaller than Nintendo, but the videos from Japan, it looks really
Looks
good.
phenomenal.
It looks cool, but did you watch the ride through on Mario Kart?
Yeah, and then
It was kind of
down there.
underwhelming, right?
Yeah, it was little, and the Yoshi ride was very
Underwhelming too.
Yeah. but
but it looks cool.
it looks really cool.
And I would assume Donkey Kong will be good. And Epic Universe is going to open with Donkey Kong already there. It's not going to be a
Yeah.
phase, so they're going to open with 3 rides right off the bat. I thought Mario Kart was going to be more of a test track ride system with
Mhm.
augmented reality, and it's really just a slow moving dark ride with augment. I guess I had to ride it. I haven't even read like opinions on it, but it just looked not that great to me. And the Yoshi one is like a flat out kids ride.
Yeah.
It's pretty much all outside. I think there's a few like show scenes maybe in there somewhere. I don't know. But either way, I feel like I just felt like when I heard that news with them, that would be a big thing for them, like to have that. Because I don't know, Nintendo just never goes away.
No.
They made a decision a long time ago that we're going to be the kids system, and it's worked out.
Yeah.
And here I am.
Yeah.
I think Mario is more popular now than it's been in a very long time. Just
Yeah.
you constantly see toys, shirts. You just see them. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have a 5-year-old or if you got a 50-year-old,
37-year-old.
It's all. Oh, I'm not super into Mario, but I mean,
I love Mario.
John, Tim.
I still play Mario Golf. And I'm looking forward to Lego Star Wars coming out on April 5th. I'm going to buy it for the Switch. So
I wore Mario socks to school the other day, and the kids were so excited.
yeah.
I think everyone loves
Great,
Mario.
though.
Even if you don't play that much Mario anymore, everyone's still kind of, it's like Mickey. Like you may not watch too much Mickey anymore, you still love it.
Yeah.
Mario's just there. Like at some
Yeah,
point in your
mean,
life, he was
we
cool.
got the kids watched the Mario Super Show, whatever that was, that will like with
From when we were kids.
with
Yeah,
Captain Lou
with-
Albano
yeah.
and everything. Like
Yeah.
they watched the
Classic.
still.
What's up, Paisanos?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the Super Mario Super Show.
Yeah.
Oh
It's-
man.
I mean,
Swing
never-
your arms from side to
ending.
side. Come on, let's go. Let's all do the Mario. I love that show. And
The fact that you have it, look how happy it just made Tim. Look at his face.
I haven't. There he is, Stephen Lanzi, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get him in here.
Hey. Wait
Let's-
for it. Wait
let's
for it. Wait for it. Wait.
Let's welcome him in.
He's connected to audio.
He's
It's getting
connecting.
wait.
He's connecting.
You're
And
here.
we have connection.
Hi, friend.
Hello.
Connection.
I am still not on any semblance of a schedule.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Now, if it makes anyone feel any better, we've been watching documentaries, so it's very educational.
Right.
Anything good?
Yeah. So we actually get PBS on demand. So
Yep.
all like the Ken Burns stuff.
Oh, I like. Which one did you watch?
Roosevelt.
Oh, I haven't watched that one yet. Prohibition's a good one.
That's one I definitely want. That's probably Prohibition was probably the least the time where the Coast Guard was the least popular
And the least
Was-
fun.
and the least fun. Yeah, that was definitely not a good time in our history for public support.
Well, yeah,
Mm.
I was thinking just being in it. Never mind.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
it's all right.
so Lanzi, we were just,
Yes.
you're probably joining us for like the last 10 minutes of the show. It's all right though.
All right.
We were just discussing how I know you got the text earlier about how Universal's stepping on, could potentially step on Disney's throat, and how they're only like a little over 1 million visitors a year per park away from being matching Disney's numbers now, and how they got a third park on the way, and how Disney is not doing anything aggressive anymore. They're simply reactionary now. So whatever Universal, they wait for a move and then they make a move. And their moves have not really been great. I mean, I know you haven't experienced Galaxy's Edge yet, but I'm confident, having spoken to you about Star Wars several times now, that you're going to have the same opinion as I do when you get back. But it's cool, but it's not your Star Wars, and so, or many people's Star Wars.
Yeah.
But
So
do you think? Can I ask this question? Because we were all just talking about it. Do you
Yeah.
think the Nintendo world that Universal is going to open has the potential to deliver a Harry Potter level blow to
Disney.
Disney?
yes, and I'll say why. Simply put, people who remember Nintendo are the ones who have money. You know, I mean, it's just the age that
Good point.
we're the ones that, you know, typically have been in careers for a certain amount of time and have a certain amount of savings. And especially when you think about the retro kind of thing that's happened, especially, you know, started with Atari, right? Where you bought the remote but it had like 20 games in it, right? Saved to it. And Nintendo, it's kind of the same thing where they had like the mini little NES that flew off the shelf. So I don't think it's going to be as big as Harry Potter, because Harry Potter was a whole thing unto itself. But it's a very large brick in their foundation, or will be.
So I agree that it's not as big as, it probably won't be as big as Harry Potter, but it probably may still be bigger than any other land. It could potentially still be bigger than any other land Disney possesses. No?
Well,
Like land specific.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say, you know, it's funny. Had Disney done the Star Wars thing before the new movies, I think it would have made a bigger splash. But, and we've talked about The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. Very few people left those movies happy. I mean, there are people that didn't even leave Force Awakens happy, but I think the thought process was, as a good palate cleanser, like, okay, we're going to get to 2 awesome movies, and it didn't, for many of us, didn't happen. Rogue One, of course, was awesome, and I think that kind of soured everybody just on Star Wars in general. Maybe, I mean, Mandalorian, people really seem to love, and all the series that they're going to have, maybe that would revive it, but the shine was definitely off the Falcon when they opened. In a way that it wasn't, say, off of Harry Potter when it opened. It won't be for Nintendo. And I'm not surprised Universal's doing what they're doing, because with Disney, there's a lot to do. You need a lot of days, and it's getting more expensive to do it. Universal, you can do in 2 days. Right? Maybe even 3, but you could probably do almost everything in 2. So those 3-day weekends, I think people, rather than get half of a Disney experience, rather get a complete Universal experience.
Yep. And then, of course, bear in mind, Epic Universe is going to be open in a couple of years. That's going to have another Harry Potter world, the Nintendo world, Universal Monsters World, which I think a lot of people are going to actually, I think it's going to be more popular than people realize. I think my own prediction.
Right.
And like we were talking about before you came on, Johnny and I were talking about how if you get a hotel at Universal, say you're a deluxe person, you're the kind of person that experiences Disney deluxe version. If you experience Universal deluxe version, you don't take transportation. You get a ride from the airport to the parks. You walk out your door, you're at the gates to 2 of the parks and the water park, and you're only 2 miles away from the other park. Now think about that. You know, I always bring that up because I guess I'm very salty on on getting around the Disney property. I absolutely hate it. But I just think the perks, I mean, it just adds an added perk too. Like, you know, we've been talking about the perks. I know it's been a while since we talked about this stuff, but the perks are going away at Disney, and it feels like the perks are, I think, here to stay at Universal, and maybe even better. Now at Epic Universe, they're opening up the first hotel to actually be in the park. There's going to be a hotel in the, like, you walk out of the hotel door and you are already in the park. Like, I don't know. I just think they're going to step on it. I just think they have a potential to step on their throat. And with Disney doing nothing with Marvel over in Orlando, I think they're in trouble.
I mean, even when you have something like the fact that Disney got rid of the Magic Express.
Exactly.
You know, like, here you have a $1 billion company, billions, constantly. And you mean to tell me that those bus rides that honestly were part of the whole experience, where you didn't have to worry about rides, like you landed, especially if you stayed on Disney property, you landed, you were on vacation. They brought you to the resorts, they took care of your luggage. Like, it was a whole system, part of the whole be our guest mindset. And the one thing people do not like is an ego. And it just seems like Disney kind of has this ego
Pompous.
of, yeah, like we don't care. You do it. Everyone uses Uber. I don't want to use Uber. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in the Disney bubble. Keep me in my bubble.
right.
Yeah, I think that's gone. I think that's gone.
Hmm.
The bubble. I mean, at least for people like all of us that have been there more than once. I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do. Like I said, I think they're being reactionary. They don't seem to be like Landy said. They don't seem to be concerned. But I think Epic Universe has got a potential to be a big deal. Like I said, you're putting a Nintendo World in, and you're putting another. I don't know what the Harry Potter thing's going to be, but it doesn't matter what it's going to be because Harry Potter, it's Harry Potter. And then the Universal Monsters World is, like I was telling them earlier, Stephen, that it was planned on being one e-ticket and then one like little show, and now they've changed the plans just as recently as last week, and now it's going to be a 2 e-ticket attractions in the Universal Monster World. So I feel like Universal is like they can feel it,
Yeah, I mean they're making the decisions they need to make to be successful, and Disney doesn't own everything, and I think they're picking some of the best things that are out there that are non-Disney, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think the big turnaround going back to when they got Harry Potter, because
that was it was huge.
that was one of the immersion on steroids.
Yeah.
I remember I walked down Diagon Alley.
It's sick.
Like
That was
It really
probably
is.
the best immersion and kind of put Disney on their toes saying you need to step up.
Well, that's the other problem with the Star Wars things. So that was one of their answers, right? Even in Pandora, they did it, but they didn't. There wasn't something like from the Star Wars movie that you walk into. Like you walk into Hogsmeade or Diagon Alley, you were walking into the movie.
Right.
Yes, Batu looks like a land that could exist in the Star Wars galaxy, but it's no land that any of us know.
Right.
It's not Mos Eisley. It's not the Cloud City. It's not whatever, you name it.
Do you think they did it because then people could pick apart if they didn't do it right? They gave them a different land so there couldn't be anything wrong with it. It's not accurate to the movies.
I mean, maybe.
But I also feel like Hollywood Studios was based on the point of
Steven's not buying that one.
you're in the movie. This is the feel. This is and you're not seeing Batu in those movies.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what it
I mean
should be.
Disney could have done
Sorry.
really immersion. For example, I mean, look, I was with everybody, not the biggest fan of, say, 4, 5, 1, 2, and 3, right? The prequels, but you can't argue that the prequels brought in a lot of kids, and who grew up with those movies and they love those movies. So you could have had a restaurant or some kind of experience where you're surrounded by screens and it looks like you're underwater, and there goes the Gungans.
Oh no!
Right? I know, but trust me. Look, I'm the guy who on Star Tours, right? Anytime you went underwater and there was Jar Jar, I'm the one who yells "shoot!"
Yeah,
shoot! Right. But again, kids, who grew up on those movies see it much different than any of us that grew up on 4, 5, and 6. So they definitely could have done more. This is the land of whatever. I mean, I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen everything from the Star Wars. I try to look on YouTube a little bit to see what they looks like. But when you walk down Diagon Alley, you it's like, do they film here? Because it looks like that's where they film.
It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And then when you go to Gringotts,
I want to go there so badly now.
Yeah, you should go. I want to
Johnny, read the books.
I just feel like I feel cheated.
cheating.
Like we talk about it and I think about it, I just feel cheated as a Star Wars fan that we didn't get that. Like I feel like, like we don't feel that great about 1, 2, and 3, but you know what? Over time, 1, 2, and 3 is like, I'm not gonna say I like them, but they've like settled in to be at least part of the story. And I do like the time period. I like the feel of the time period. If that makes any sense to anybody. But this one was more them being like, this is ours now. We're going to make a land that exists in current Star Wars timeline. That way there we have every excuse to eliminate all the old characters, except for the ones that can walk around, that make good walk around characters, i.e. Chewbacca. And, you know, we like the idea of R2D2, but here's BB-8, who's new R2D2, you know, I don't know. And I don't want to get too into that, but I just think it's where they're not where they're not doing a good job competing is what I'm trying to get at.
I think Universal is finding their niche, which is hey, if you get a 3-day vacation, you can do all our stuff in that 3, get in, get out, and probably remain under Disney, you know, price wise.
Yes, I already looked it up.
So I think a lot of people who want to, especially up here, want to get away from the cold, that want to go to Florida, you know, probably love Disney and maybe even go to downtown Disney just to get a little bit of the feel. But for the money and for the days, yeah, I think Universal is finding their stride there. And
I wonder if it could like reverse roles too. Like I'm going to go down and I'm going to go to Universal. And I'm going to spend one day on that trip. I'm going to do the Magic Kingdom. So I'll run over there for a day, come back. Mm-hmm. Maybe next time down at Universal, I'll run over to Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't know. I just thought it'd be an interesting topic, and it was. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think it's going to take a while. But I think they definitely got a chance. Which the reason why I kind of made an episode about it is I had never thought that to be true. I never thought that would even be close or ever be even a possibility. But now that I've seen those numbers, and the third park's on the way, and I've seen like kind of the flow and conversation online going that way. It just makes me wonder if like can that actually happen? Like it's kind of crazy.
I feel like this COVID closure has kind of been like a role reversal. Universal opened up first. Disney said, "Let's see what happens." They were successful. Okay, so now we're going. And I get erring on the side of caution. I do. They're lessening these restrictions. Let's see how that goes. Okay, now we're gonna. And I feel like they're just kind of. They let Universal take the lead, and now they're doing it in other ways besides just mask mandates and what all that's kind of, you know, not to get political about it, but just I feel like they let Universal take the lead, and that just did it in for them.
Mm. I mean, it is important to note, and Stephen wasn't here when we said it earlier, but it is important to note on those numbers that Disney people do think, and it's probably true that Disney kind of went out of their way to hike the prices up to control the crowds. So maybe their growth isn't represented accurately because they actually tried not to grow as much. Whereas
all those crowds and it was too crowded, and
still too crowded though.
Now it's paid by, it's priced by day. It's not just one flat rate whenever.
Yeah. Did Stephen freeze? I think he did. But yeah,
I thought he was just reading.
I don't know.
Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
Yeah, it's my computer apparently is trying to do some work in the background, and I don't think it's working too well for him, to be honest with you.
You look deep in thought.
He's got a Disney computer, and it's hearing this conversation, not liking what it hears. It's shutting it down.
Oh no!
But anyway, we've been on for an hour, so we're gonna get out of here. Stephen, you weren't here when we talked about it on Thursday, and for those of you that are going to, be listening to this week's episode, we are no longer doing the news on Thursday. The news will now be part of the podcast on Sundays. I don't know what we're going to do, about the podcast next Sunday because there's no way I'm missing the Super Bowl.
I also have drill weekend.
So next weekend.
So it just stacks it even more. Yeah. You know what? Let's do this. We'll do a news episode on Thursday.
Okay.
And we will not do an episode on Sunday. And then we'll just get back on schedule completely on Sunday. That sound
okay?
Somewhat reasonable to everybody? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Horrible.
Johnny's not going to do it. Johnny's going to launch a quick Universal podcast.
Yep. It's over.
And we might have to start covering Universal now.
Quick Universe. I don't know. Tuesday's the dentist, not Thursday.
It's got me curious to go down there.
Bye, Lansy.
Bye, Lansy. It's got me curious to go down there and see if I can just stomach 3 days and just do Universal, not step on Disney property.
I think it would be it would kill you a little bit knowing you're going down there to not go on property. But once you did, you'd be like, It wasn't that bad, actually.
No, I mean Universal would be fun when you're there. Don't get me.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
But it's like Disney. Disney's right there. I like Disney.
I know.
I could touch you. Boop.
I know. And before, I got close to doing it last year, or thinking about it last year, and now even this year, and I'm just like, because my mom and my aunt want to go to Disney this year with us and stuff, and I'm like, I bet you they would love the
He's
Universal
back.
trip. They would probably love the Universal trip more. Because it's good
So-
about that for like someone like them. They can go to the
Ugh.
park for a couple hours. They want to break and they want to have dinner or
Yeah.
drinks or just get out of the parks. City Walk's right there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good things going on there.
It's just
And
tough.
City Walk's cool.
Disney's just got that nostalgia. That's what the thing is with that. Like, I don't have any. I think I may have gone to Universal when I was little, when Nickelodeon was still there, but like that's all gone. So I don't have that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. They
It's
need to
just-
like revisit the Nickelodeon stuff. Like where's Ninja Turtles? Where's SpongeBob?
Nope.
SpongeBob could have a dark ride. I would imagine be a popular dark ride.
Yeah. What does SpongeBob really know? Has like their meet and greet thing? You can meet him and Patrick, right?
Ninja Turtles could have a dark ride or whatever. So much you could do with all that. Ninja
Go
Turtles is
through
a
the
good one.
sewers with the turtles.
Where's Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Ghostbusters would be very cool.
They had some stuff at one time years and years ago, but nothing really great. I think it was a show.
And they're
Um,
rebooting the movie, so it makes sense to have something in the park.
Yeah. Did anybody see Ghost Afterlife yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
Wasn't horrible,
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
but I think they might get some momentum off of that. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is, but or Terminator, Unfortunately, they lost Alien to Disney because I always felt like Alien, that one segment of the great movie ride, RIP, was always awesome. But
Yeah.
Universal's got options that they haven't even exercised yet, so we'll see. We shall
It'll be
see.
fun. I don't know why my camera's black, by the way.
That's
I
kind
don't
of
know either. But we're gonna get out of here. We will see everyone on Thursday for the news, and then we will see everyone
the following
following Sunday. So the 20th, because Super Bowl Sunday I believe is on the 13th.
Mhm.
So the following Sunday, and get back on schedule. All right. So we're out.
Oh, I have to do my plug.
Oh, Johnny's gonna do a plug.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh,
Yes,
what's Johnny plugging?
On this Friday,
plugs.
I was on our friend who we've had on the show, Craig McFarland's podcast, Beyond the Mouse. We had did like a whole, it was me and another girl who had run the marathon. We did a whole Run Disney marathon weekend discussion. So that should be out Friday on his,
This Friday.
Beyond the Mouse podcast.
There you go, guys. You want some more
So-
Johnny on the Run Disney?
And the 11th.
Beyond the Mouse. And that's a good podcast.
Yeah.
I enjoy them.
Craig's a nice guy.
I like their drafts and their superheroes and their villains and the sidekicks, and I'm a fan.
Yeah, that's a good idea. It would be cool. Get like them and like another couple podcasts together and like have like draft rooms, and we all have to pick our own. Like each podcast has to have their own, whatever the subject might be, and see who wins, kind of thing. I don't know how you really. I guess the people would have to vote after, right? I mean, how else do you tell who wins? But either way.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get out of here, guys. We'll enjoy the game. I know like 99% of people will at least be peeking in. I'm rooting for the Bengals because Joe Burrow went to Ohio State. So yeah, go Bengals, and we'll see you guys Thursday.
Everything is awesome.
Steven's still here.
Indeed.
I
Oh, he
am.
is. He is.
Yeah, I just think that
We're still live, guys. Everything's fine.
I think
Yeah.
there are updates.